Hey guys, this is Summing Rush. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Object 430U. This is the brand new Tier 10 Russian medium. Just came out today, so I've played it for a bit and thought I'd give you my opinion on it. So, 430U, Tier 10 medium. It's the tank that I would compare it to draw some sort of realistic comparison is the T10. So what you get with the Object 430U is you've got 440 alpha, 252 pen, 0.35 accuracy with my setup, and roughly 3300 DPN. Again, that's with my setup. And basically the gun is perfect. Like, you've got this 440 heavy tank type of gun. The gun handling is insane. The accuracy is insane. Like, the tank does exactly what you need. Well, the gun does exactly what you need it to do when you need to do it. And because the alpha is so high, it's really great for shooting at like tier 8 heavies because you hit them for 440 and I don't know, roll for 500 plus. So that's the gun. As far as the armor goes, this tank has been compared a lot to the E50M, and I would say that's extremely accurate. Actually, I would compare it to the T10 because I think that turret wise it's comparable to the T10, and then hull wise it's comparable to the E50M. So this upper front plate gets penned by a lot of things, but the thing is, what you can do is you just angle it a bit like this or whatever, and it's very hard for low tiers. So for pub stomping, not really for clan wars, it's very hard for low tiers to just do anything to you because they're not going to pen this upper front plate when it's angled, and they're not really going to pen your side when it's angled. So in my experience, coming from, if you're not hull down, what you can do is you can just bully tier 8s and 9s with this tank very easily because it's got the hull of an E50M. It's pretty wicked. So lower plate's really weak, but that's always the case. As far as the turret goes, very similar to the T10. You've got these really obnoxiously small commander's hatches. No one is going to consistently hit these with the way that the accuracy system works in this game. It's like they can have the best aim in the game, but they're so small, it's like not even a good player. You could be sitting still in the middle of an open field and people aren't going to hit your commander's hatches on purpose. So hull down, it's really, really great. The turret feels awesome. I haven't looked at the armor numbers, but let's see. If we go into survivability here, it says the turret armor is 300 at the front. So, basically the second you start leaving this, you're just going to be bouncing heat for days. So hull down, it's absolutely fantastic. When it comes to mobility, this is kind of where the tank is lacking, but like, it's a medium tank. So what I have found is that the mobility is basically the same as a T10. So the specific power to weight ratio, which in my opinion is the most relevant statistic when it comes to assessing a vehicle's mobility, is basically the same as the T10. So the T10's got 14.75 or something. This thing's got 14.13. So basically they're the exact same. If you've ever played a T10 before, you're basically getting an up-armored T10 with better DPM and a better feeling gun. As far as the camo goes, I don't have much camo on this tank because it previously used to be the 430, which was a brawling tank. This is a brawling tank, and so with my one crew member at 45% camo, I've got 23% and 18% while moving. So 23% when I'm standing still for a couple seconds, and then 18 when I'm not. As far as the view range goes, 450, I've got vents, BIA, and Brothers in Arms, and one view range crew skill, which should affect that view range there. So yeah. As far as the crew goes, I mean, you could just pause the video here, but I'll just quickly go over what I have. I've got Brothers in Arms all the way down, so I won't cover that again. 6th Sense on the Commander, of course. View range skill on the Commander. Repairs. And then for this guy, I've got BIA, Snapshot, which, to be honest, is kind of useless. In my opinion, so let me put it this way. If I'm going to reset the crew skills, which, to be honest, I should, this is ideally what they'd look like. And I won't do all of these on the video, but in my opinion, Snapshot and Smooth Ride are relatively useless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Brothers in Arms, Repairs, Camo, and then Firefighting for my 4th skill, because this thing actually has the fuel tanks right about here. And so, I didn't play the games with this crew setup, but I'm going to modify this one as well. I can just do that on... This is how I would set this thing up crew skill-wise. I would go Repairs, Camo, Firefighting. Because this thing gets lit on fire all the time, I would really suggest the Firefighting, because getting lit on fire costs you like 1500 HP, and the Firefighting will help mitigate that. So what I have found is that the fuel tanks seem to be about here. When you get hit in the lower plate, you get lit on fire. So I repair my fuel tanks very consistently in this vehicle, just like I do in all my Russian mediums, because that way you don't get lit on fire for 1500 HP. And of course, now that I've put Firefighting on the crew, that should help it as well. So yeah, that's the crew. Obviously, I don't have this crew skill, but I'll just put Camo and then Firefighting for the 4th and 5th. And that's pretty much it for the garage portion of this video. Let's go take a look at how it plays. Alrighty, so for this game, we're on the map Sand River, probably one of my favorite maps in the game, and obviously I'm in the 430U. I'm platooned with an M48 Patton for this game, and we find ourselves in one of the best matchmaking situations on one of the best maps in the game. So 430U against tier 8s, absolutely what you want in this tank, because if you just go fight the tier 8s, they're not really going to be able to pen you, and you can just out-trade them with your 440 alpha. So on the map Sand River, obviously in this platoon with this guy. The south seems to be what works the best for me. I never am successful when I play the north, so I always just go to the south, and I get hauled down, and I use my armor in such a way that allows me to generally do well here. So bringing the 430 to the south, and immediately as this game starts, you're going to notice a couple things happen that are weird. So this is 357 matchmaking, of course, and we've got, our top tier heavy tank is sitting in base, which is what it is. Normally, if I saw that in this type of game, I would not be making this place because I would be alone, of course. So I've got this M48 Patton with me. I trust him as a player, so we're able to take the south. And given the fact that we've got this top tier heavy camping, it's like we kind of need to win the south and have a huge impact on the game if we actually want to win this one, because top tier heavy is camping. So we're playing this aggressively. What you'll notice I'm doing is I'm scouting. So a lot of people don't feel comfortable scouting in their mediums. I just kind of poked my turret over the ridge to see who was there. Saw the T30, the Scorpion, the T10, and so on and so forth. I take a hit for that. I take a hit from that object for 30U. But the way I'm going to deal with that is I'm going to point my frontal armor towards him. And right now I'm hauled on to him. So it doesn't really matter that my frontal armor is towards him. But, it's just a precaution that I take in case he gets lucky and his shell goes low or something. So putting shots into this guy, you'll notice this is kind of where, the accuracy is so-so. It's 0.35 accuracy, so it's not going to be great when you're sniping. But the thing is, it's like, who really cares? You're in this medium with armor and high alpha. It's like you shouldn't really be sniping. The accuracy is good enough if you find yourself in most sniping situations. You're just going to have to take a couple shots. So that's the way it is. Now, a couple of things are going to happen here that are going to entice me to push up. Mostly, it's just the fact that I want to see how this tank performs. This was one of my earlier games in this tank. So it's like, might as well just play and see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push up. Now, the way I try to push up on Sand River is I always make sure I have support. So we're pushing through the south, and obviously I have support from my M48 Patton right here. And what I'm doing is I'm talking on TeamSpeak, asking him to just kind of stay where he is so I don't get YOLO'd. So push up into this T10. The way I've done this is I've come into this valley here, and that's going to allow me to get hulled down against people who are in the T10's position. So I'm able to put shots into him. He decides he wants to YOLO me, which is a reasonable play, I suppose, because then I won't be hulled down, and he bounces a shot off of me. So seems like he hit my tracks, which is fine. That's why he bounced. And then he takes another hit, and I'm able to finish him off. And that just kind of leaves the rest of the enemies 5 tier 8s in front of us. So what next is the Emil is in front of us, and it's just me again with this M48 Patton. So the way I like to deal with Emils, especially in a situation like this, is I just love to get above them, because if you can get above an Emil, it completely negates the slope on their armor, and you'll see that's exactly how I'm going to pen him right here. So put a shot into the Emil's turret. The reason this is working is because I'm above him, right? So his armor isn't as angled as it usually would be, but able to put another shot into him. That one pens as well, and then I think we're just going to finish him off right here. Right there, and that's killing in a mill. That's how you should do it. You always want to try to get above them so you can pen them relatively easily. Now, right here, again, they've got 5 tanks in front of us, but you'll notice the score is relatively tied. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to push into them, but we have to, like, the reason we're pushing into them is because there's 5 or 6 tanks in front of us, and we want to kill them if we want to have a chance at this game. The fact that we've already killed a T10 and an Emil, and we're still, it's still close, is worrying. So we've pushed up to this location, and I'm alone at this circumstance, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get hulled down, so I'm kind of distancing myself from the enemies so they don't YOLO me, and I like to come up to this red line, so I just drive up like so, and then I come to right here, and that gives me hull down on all the tanks who have just been sort of camping this corner. And you can see I can put shots into the Scorpion, the Udas, and the Low, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm here, I'm not getting YOLO'd, and I would normally be getting YOLO'd, but the thing is we've got this Patton who's coming towards me, so even if I did get YOLO'd, my platoon mate would be able to help me out. Here's the armor working. Like I said, it's just absolutely fantastic for stomping tier 8s. This is what this tank is good for. It's like, here we are, hull down, there's 5 tanks in front of me, the Low isn't even looking. We can just put shots into them all day for 440 alpha, and that's how you abuse tanks in positions like this on this map. Now, at this point, we've done 4,500 damage, and as far as I can tell, yeah, we're losing. So basically my platoon mate and I are basically saying we have to go quickly, we have to keep doing damage, because if we don't, this game is very likely to spiral out of control. So we're trying to kill these 4 or 5 tanks in front of us just to sort of keep the game close. So we're putting shots into the WoTs, we're coordinating with each other. It's like we want to kill the lowest HP as soon as possible. I'm able to not put a shot into anyone right here because the low is looking at me, and so is the 34. So put a shot towards the Yuta as that one goes low. And this is, as far as I can tell, exactly what this tank is designed to do. So we're able to take on multiple vehicles from this location. We're using our armor here so our platoon mates don't have to take the hits. The low looks at me, of course, and they shoot him. And now that he's looking away, it's like I just finished him off. And this is how mediums should be played. It's like you should be using your armor. You should be on the front lines like this. And because we made this play, we're using our armor and so on and so forth, we're able to win the game. So at this point in time, we're up to 5,500 damage. It's just this T-34B left. We put the high damage shot into him. Our platoon mate gets the kill. We both have 6 kills at this point, and now it's just kind of chasing damage and trying to hit the 7k mark. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to be as aggressive as possible, because if I'm not, you know, my teammates will get the damage. So like here we are putting shots into the back of the 430U. There's this IS-7 in front of us. I think he pens this one. No, he misses, and then we're just going to put another shot into the 430U. That's my 4th kill, and now it's just a matter of trying to get one more shot of damage, and you can see what the 252 pen is capable of. So that's what 252 pen can semi-reliably do. I penned his drive wheel, got up to the 7k mark, and that's more or less the game. Alrighty, so now that you've seen how this thing performs when it's top tier, I thought I'd go do some live gameplay and hunt for a game where I was like, not bottom tier, but I thought I'd hunt for an all tier 10 game so you could see how this thing performs, you know, in the worst possible matchmaking scenario. I was worried I wasn't going to get good. I was worried I was going to get good matchmaking for this game because the queue time was like 4 minutes. Well, here we are. Bad matchmaking, thank God. So the enemy team has, oh geez, 6 TDs, an RD, ton of mediums, and then like 1 heavy. So what do we have? 6 TDs, an RD, a ton of mediums, and 2 heavies. Okay, so this is weird because on this map you can pretty much always predict where heavies and TDs are kind of going to play, but you don't really know where mediums are going to go. So I would love to take E8 right in here. I'd love to be playing right in here. But the thing is, it's like they have however many mediums they do. It's just so unpredictable. And then the oh. Jeez, chat, man. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Fucking chat. I don't know what I'm gonna do because the odds that I just get YOLO'd by some mobile tank is relatively high. So I think the way to play this is to simply kind of see how things go and then take opportunistic shots at random TVPs that rush field, or you know, whoever does that. Interesting. I just noticed the fact that we have 4 tanks in D0. Okay. So I'm really glad I didn't rush where I originally wanted to. I think what I'll do is I'll just sort of play in this area in the city. Let's see if anyone's here. This is so weird. If I make a single mistake, I'm going to find like 8 tanks. So I don't want to make a mistake just yet. So we're already down a 30B, which is fine because those tanks are useless anyways. We've got this grill, I think. No, it's an object 268. Okay, so he's pushing up the 0 line, which is majestic as far as I'm concerned, because now I can start to move up, because he's done all the dirty work and basically scouted all that shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up with him, kind of try to make it parallel, and maybe I can support him or spot this Yag Tiger or so. Oh, this guy's not looking at me, which is fine. I can maybe put a... He ammo racked me on the first shot he put into me. Luckily he low rolled, but that's just the way it is. Why would I complain about low rolling? And you know, from here I should be able to put shots into people. So the thing is, I'm about as aggressive as it gets given where my team is, right? Like normally this isn't very aggressive, but if you look at where everyone is on my team, this is like suicidal in my opinion. So I'm just gonna have to keep... What the hell is this guy doing, man? He was shooting heat and that's why he didn't hit me. I need to run. Gonna put a shot into this guy. Might take a hit escaping, but... Right. Okay. So the alpha has been really useful because I've already done 900. I'm just going to keep trying to hopefully not get snapshotted, which I'd rather get hit by this guy than that 268 or whatever. So I actually don't know what the 268 alpha is, but I'm just going to keep reversing slightly, and I'm kind of going to take a TD type position for now, because if I can sort of prevent the enemy from flanking our heavies, I might be able to be useful this game. I don't want to lose it just yet. So I'm going to load heat, and we're going to play some sort of harassing role with our alpha, because that's typically how alpha is useful. So I can put shots into this guy. He notices me. Brilliant. What type of armor? I've never seen this tank. 705A. Where can I pen it? Okay, so I can shoot his lower plate with heat. You can see it's green right there. Shot doesn't go where I'm aiming it, so whatever. That happens sometimes. Let's see. How is he going to respond? I'm hoping that he'll take a shot at my turret. Okay. Maybe I can put a shot. Fuck. Accuracy sometimes. That's 0.35. Like, in general, it's good enough if you're shooting at the entirety of a tank, right? Like, if you're shooting at the side of something, 0.35 is more than enough to hit the side of tanks. But, like, if you're not, good luck. Good luck. Yeah. And then the fact that this thing's got an 8-second reload as opposed to, like, 5.5, it's even harder. Let's see. If this guy does this, maybe he'll... See, I don't want to push because we're, like, 3 tanks down. Oh, my God. Fucking close game. Okay, track him. Gonna just remain hull down, and we're gonna continue to sit back here because I actually want to have a good game this time. See, can hit the sides, you know, semi-accurately, but aiming for his lower plate, not really gonna consistently happen in this tank. That guy's being blocked, and this is how great this turret armor is. So look, if you see I've bounced some shots out my upper front plate, that's because the way I'm angling it, right? This slope is pointing my tank upwards, so it gives my frontal plate a better angle. And they're kind of just driving in front of me. So here I'd rather have high DPM, right? But because I've got the high alpha, I can just kind of minimize my exposure. HE. Okay. I think I'll reload faster than this guy. Just bounce this lower plate. Okay. Oh, not good. Nice shot. Heat into the lower plate. I'm just going to keep falling back. Oh, I guess this isn't really falling back. It's more pushing into someone. 650 alpha. I didn't know that. Okay. Hopefully I survive. Okay. I imagine that guy high rolled me. I don't know his alpha, but, you know, at the end of the day, he did kill me, so good job to them. And I'm glad the game was... Like I said, bad matchmaking. So that's about as bad as it gets in the 430U. Thought I'd, you know, if you're ever in a situation, you know, because this is very normal, I guess. So that's how this tank performs, and that's how you make the most of that kind of situation, I suppose. Because it does happen, you know, and inevitably when one day your team is going to be suboptimal, which is very common, you can always fall back to a position. Absolutely, you can rely on the armor. You know, I was bouncing heat left, right, and center. Ended up blocking 3K. So, you know, not exactly a spectacular game, but that's a bit more representative of what you can generally expect in this vehicle when you play it. So I think I'll put that in there because, you know, it's realistic and not some epic game. So yeah, hope this video is helpful. If you want to see more, I mean, feel free to hit the like and the whatever the hell buttons you should press. I would suggest getting this tank. It seems to be good. You know, I've played a couple games in it so far. Really enjoy it. I will be getting it on EU because it's a beast. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful. Bye for now.